Is that a clipboard?
Don't worry about all that. You worry about the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the game, coach.
You LJ? Sorry. Sorry. Oh! I'm sorry.
Nah.
I'm sorry.
I told you if I was anybody this episode, I could be Q this episode. I can be Q. I'm telling you.
Yeah. All right. So I see y'all ready to get this started.
Yeah.
All right. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Am I coming in clear? Welcome to the Was It Good Though podcast. That wasn't a question, Jason. That was a part of my intro. And here you go answering.
My bad. I'm trying to make sure we, what I'm saying?
Jason trying to ride the wave. That's crazy.
Right.
That just rock.
What's the wave?
It was doing good too. It was doing good too.
I'm trying to make sure she good.
Welcome to the Was It Good Though podcast, where we discuss, debate, review, and sometimes argue on movies and TV shows. I am one of your hosts. My name is Jazz. I am joined with Chris. How you feeling this evening, Chris?
Good. How y'all doing?
Feeling good. Excited for this review.
Y'all good? I'm good. Spectacular. So let's go.
Oh,
don't hate, Jason.
Jason, are you feeling a higher level than spectacular? Oh, our other co-host, Jason. How you feeling?
I'm okay, Jess. I'm okay.
You sound kind of down.
Yeah, I am.
Well,
I am.
What's wrong?
This should be the new segment, the vent opening. If we need to vent before we get into the
I need to review. One of my favorite shows. They have parted ways with a very sick individual. Rick and Morty, man, one of the voice actors that voices Rick and Morty. He got out of there. A lot of nasty allegations going on with that man, and it kind of ties into what we're talking about today to a certain extent. But we won't really address too much of that today. But yeah, man, Justin Roiland. We won't really go too much into it. You can look that up. But yeah, he's a sick bastard. Jazz, back to you.
Thank you, Jason. Sorry to hear this news, but yeah, we don't normally get news at the beginning of the episode, but we try to shake things up. Well, today we will be reviewing reviewing a TV show, The Best Man Final Chapters. This was for our episode 34. So since we are doing a show, we normally change up our format for shows. We break them up. So today we will be reviewing episodes 1 through 4 of The Best Man Final Chapters. You can stream this on Peacock. I believe it came out last month, December?
Right around Christmas.
Okay. And it's been very successful. We've been seeing a lot of stuff online, people giving feedback and everything. So I also want to say, if you have not seen this show, please pause the pod, go watch it, and come back. Check out our review for sure. It's a really good series if you are a fan of the Best Man holiday. And then I also want to say, before you turn the pod off, please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, follow us on our socials. We engage. Definitely love any type of feedback from you guys. And I also want to put out an adult warning. If you have seen this series, know that there are a lot of topics that are classified or that can be classified as triggering or sensitive topics. We'll be discussing a lot of different things from experiences that we've seen and also providing our own opinions, just as your warning. So there it is. Jason, was there something you wanted to add before I go into my recap?
No, I think that was it. That's all I had to vent on my chest besides getting into the episode.
Got you. Chris, is there something that you want to add before I get into my recap?
No, I'm vent free, so we can jump straight to it.
I just want to make sure everybody is ready for this ride we're about to go on. Quick recap. If you have not seen The Best Man or The Best Man Holiday, it is a movie about a good Black educated friend group. I'm not going through all the characters. I would hope everybody's seen the first 2 movies, but just a quick recap. Harper wrote a book that was successful that talked about his college activities, and we found out at the end of The Best Man, the first film, the activities was he slept with his best friend's fiance, but they were in college, and he wrote it in a book. which was unfinished business, very successful.
Mhm.
Lance found out the night before the wedding, beat Harper's ass, and almost didn't get married, but luckily they did, because now we have best man holiday. Is there anything that I need to speak on in my nope? Jason shaking his head. All right. So then we had the best man holiday. The group is coming back together. We find out that Mia is sick. Mia is Lance's wife. And the friends just go through that entire sad movie, but the entire movie wasn't sad. It was good to see all of them together and being able to deal with any kind of conflicts they had from the first film. And then the best man holiday ends with Quentin calling Harper saying, "I'm getting married." Lance and Harper, their friendship came back together, RIP Mia. And we open this, don't do that, Jason. We open up the series with that.
We do. So best man final chapters, man. I was super excited to see this. A lot of shows, a lot of movies, older things have been coming back. So to see this, it dropped like in 1999. So what's that, 23 years from beginning to now. It was super dope to see. Opening scene, we're in 2024. So we even going for more further than where we are present day. So we see Harper, he's looking super successful. He's questioning a lot of the success and, even questioning as far as his soulmate. But the person that flashes up is Jordan. It's not, his wife. So, interesting intro. But then we fast forward, not fast forward, we flash back. We flash back to 2015. At first, this kind of caught me off guard because when I was watching, I'm like, wait, why are we jumping around so many different? And I'm thinking when the best man holiday was 2013, 2015 makes a lot more sense because it's only 2 years since Mia has passed.
Right.
So we see how Lance is dealing with the grief. We see the entire friend group, but we also get caught up to what the friend group is, what they're on right now. So we open up, like I said, we open up with Harper. That was 2024. 2015, now we're with Shelby. We see Shelby. She's, of course, one of the Desperate Housewives reality TV show dealing with Andy Cohen. And she just found out that Q is about to get married. Shelby's been married multiple times already. And now it's Quincy's turn, and she is not taking it. What did y'all think about this reality show scene with Miss Shelby?
I didn't think she was gonna go up to my man Job and just start attacking him.
He was wilding with the cameras rolling.
And the fact of like you see her getting in her car and she's calling like, "I know he ain't getting married," and then there's cameras in her car. So it's kind of just like it's so much footage of you obviously upset that he got engaged. Like she was spazzing out because last time we saw them, they just keep going back and forth. They always arguing. And we know that they've been involved multiple times, but it's just like Shelby, y'all just need to go ahead and just stop playing this game that y'all been playing.
Some people like that cycle, man. Some people like that circle of life.
They do. They feel like it adds a spice to the relationship.
It does. I would not agree to this, but and then we go to
he did, but he tried to clean it up a little bit. You missed the spot.
So then we go back to Harper. He's been writing a book. Unfinished business, very successful. At this point, he's been pushing out a series, the Bumper G series. I wish we could get more into that to see who Bumper G really is, but they really don't touch on it. But it's successful, and every time he puts one out, it's selling. People are going crazy. We see Robin finally. She has her cooking. Her cooking is going crazy right now. She has like 3,000 subscribers. We see baby Mia. This is the child that Lance delivered in the previous movie, and they named in remembrance of Mia. Which question, would you name a baby after somebody that you know what I'm saying? A night on the town, you and your husband, like, oh, they passed away. We want to name a child after so and so.
I think this is a little different than a night on the town because they like a close knit friend group.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, my answer is no, by the way. But like no.
I mean, I guess if you're looking at it from, oh, and here's a warning: this episode might get super toxic. I want to throw that out there, but I mean, I guess from Robin's point of view, if you think about it, like, so we're gonna name our first child after somebody you slept with in college and like real close with, because that's kind of.
I was gonna name the other one Jordan, right? Yeah.
Right.
Hey, bro, you wild. You wild. So,
I'm wild.
So, in the main thing, like, I guess the main conflict here we see, which plays out through the entire series, is now the unfinished business, which is what began the series, which this may be true to like trilogies. You know, there was like a big conversation on how trilogies are supposed to work and how them, how people mess them up and things like that. But it's always supposed to go back to the original. So that's just triggering in my head. But I like how they wrote that to go back to unfinished business. Now they want to adapt it into a movie, which that's literally how everything goes. Successful book, they make a movie. Think Like a Man. Well, Tyler Perry was a play, but how they Gone Girl, that was a book. But successful movies that get adapted, but we get the black one here. And they're trying to see what wounds this movie is going to open. And this is where I got confused. I'm like, man, we 23 years beyond that. Why are we still stuck on? But it's only like 2 years since Mia has passed away. So that's where that begins to make sense for me. And of course, we got Candace and Merch. They opened up some more schools. Remember in the previous movie, he was stressed out because he had lost a donor due to Candace's past coming back up, but he reassured her he loves her. That's his wife. That's who he wants. You got something to say, Jazz? Like that smile was just like, hold on.
It lit up, didn't it?
No, I mean, he was by her side. He's a good husband. So I was just agreeing with everything you were saying.
Gotcha.
He said, look, your past is your past. That was before me. I'm here with you right now. And she gave him a fire dance in that first movie. So he was hooked after that.
I mean, but Shelby got the bit. You know what?
I'm
moving too fast, man. Man, I was like, bro, I would have gave it all. I would have gave everything in front of everybody. Everybody would have. They were like, this boy is wild. Yes, she would have got it all. It wouldn't have been no marriage. But all right. So we have like the Candace and Merch. They're out to lunch with Robin and Harper. Merch is upset about losing the best man. He really wants that. And then you see Candace. They're just tired. They're a working family. They got kids. The kids are growing up, and that's pretty much their life. They deal with kids at home. They deal with kids at work, and it's wash,
rinse, repeat. Yeah,
that's the word. My words ain't coming out, but I should have wrote it down. My bad.
Yeah, just don't type it.
So this is their cycle. So they're ready for this. They're ready to go to this wedding, because everybody going to the island for the wedding, and we see Lance. We get caught up to Lance. We go to Lance's room, and what did y'all think about seeing where Lance is at this point?
Lance was getting it in. He was just any and everything moving. Lance was like, all right. But we know it's deeper than that, though. We know it's a coping mechanism for him, and he's just trying to feel good, trying to feel something. So I knew what it was off rip. I was just like, I hope he, strapping up. That was my.
I mean,
75%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said. Hey, man.
That's how y'all cope.
Once upon a time, but they pretty much asked that, and they asked him, Harper, have you ever hit the unicorn? He's like, no, not even in my dreams. So I guess this is the running joke that Harper is pretty much going. But then we see they go to Saint Pierre. The wedding is in Saint Pierre. And it's kind of, I ain't like this because it was like Lance, Lance is being Lance, and then Harper, it kind of looks like he kind of hating. He in the car,
the
crazy face.
Yo, that was hilarious when I saw it, because I actually saw the meme before I watched the show.
I'm like, man, look at this guy. This guy just hating. And so then they get to meet Zia Mora. Miss Nicole Ari Parker. It seemed like she loved to break up relationships that we be rooting for, right? Because she was in Brown Sugar. She messed up Tay Diggs and Sanaa Lathan in that movie.
Wait, wait, no, Jason.
Oh man.
First off,
What's the lie? What's the lie, Jazz?
her and Tay Diggs were married. Now,
but
she
that ain't
cheated.
that ain't who he was supposed to be with.
She
though.
didn't know that at the time.
Man.
You can't blame her for that.
She cheated on him. On top of it.
She did, but if you think about it, Tay Diggs indirectly cheated on her with Sanaa Lathan. They just wasn't physical yet, but
it seemed like Tay Diggs loved that role, huh? He always in love with the wrong person.
What's another movie he?
We're just gonna name these two right here. I'm not gonna go nowhere else yet.
Yeah, no business being with Robin.
Hey, meet me at the altar with your right dress. That's basically what they're doing. We ain't getting no younger. We might, but you know what? You get it, Jazz. You understand? And they, like I said, they meet Zia Mora. And Candace is choking on the sage because I'm assuming Zia Mora is a super free spirit. She's just lighting sage, walking around in a circle around the crew. They choking.
Candace was like, "No, for real, I'm choking." She's like, "Help me."
I wonder if there was like
improv.
Yeah, if it was like, I mean, no, more so like she actually was choking because that could have been a scene they kept. You know what I mean?
They just kept it in. That'd be even funnier if they did that.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, that seemed like something I would definitely keep that in. I'd be like, make sure she's okay. But
especially considering what she just did at the award show when she was talking about was it Dennis Quaid? He couldn't make it to the award show. He was stuck at the ranch.
I told you she was high, but she was just like, nah, she wasn't high. Nah,
I don't think
Jason, she was high then.
And then, like I said, they trying to see what Lance is. Of course, Lance in the car, he handling business, as we see. He pretty much handling business for a little while. But he hits a wall, and that's typically. See, I don't know. See, Chris, we handle things a little bit differently. So there's definitely been a point in my life where you just go, and then you just hit a wall. You're just like, oh, I can't go no more. God be like, hold up, player, you moving too fast.
Too much dip on your chip. Got to relax a little bit.
That was bars. That was bars.
I try. I told you I got you on the guest version. I got you. Sharpening my skills.
So, then we have so this amazing, not amazing, but the scenery on Saint Pierre. Like, I don't know if they really shot it there or not, but wherever they shot this everything was amazing. From every visual that they had, it was just like, man, I definitely want to be. I'm not really a beach person, but like that oceanfront view stuff, like in front of my, just looking out your home. Yeah, that's me. That's me. So we got Robin, right? So Robin, I felt like she was kind of in the background the entire first half of the series. I feel like her character played more a part in the second half of it. But Robin over here in Saint Pierre, she's doing a lot of affirmation. She's affirming herself. She's present currently. She's happier. Her skin is glowing. She's like beautiful. And she pretty much is walking around the island, and she goes to this little bitty shack. And she's eating the food, and she's just mingling with the people. What did y'all think about Robin's character early on?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I wasn't expecting it because normally she doesn't really take that much of a backseat. But you see her, like when you look at what Candace is doing and what Jordan is doing, they're still working. Mm-hmm. Candace is trying to get her speech together, and Jordan is still got her phone on her. And Robin is just meditating, calming herself down. She's not letting things back home run through her mind. She's enjoying where she was, which really foreshadowed where her character was going to go later on. So like when I did my rewatch, I was just like, all of that stuff was just so present when she was just in her own head, just being one with the scenery, everything around her. And then when she went to that shack with the local, like she had a conversation with that woman and eating the food because she's a chef. So like she just seemed like the energy she was getting while on this vacation was complete opposite of like what the other ladies were doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like sort of a rediscovery for her. She's pretty much like, at ease and just like you said, stress free. You see the other characters, they're, busy doing other things. She's just letting it loose, like not a
Right.
care in the world. She's just at peace and everything, which I was happy for her at this moment. So, you know, at this moment, I was happy for her.
Yeah. So, and then we got Jordan. Like I said, she's been probably the most stressed of everybody here. Currently, she broke up with Brian. Thank God. Thank you. And now she's ordering food and some Mr. Chocolate. We eventually find out his name as well. He pulls up and he's like, I ate the last piece, but you can definitely have it. She was like, I don't want your piece. And he's like, I haven't eaten it yet, so it's not mine. I can give it to you. Jazz, would you have taken a piece of fish?
No.
But wait. Is it now? Would he have qualified for somebody you would talk to?
Absolutely.
Why you even ask that question?
Because Jazz gonna tell us if he ain't. You know what I'm saying? She gonna say it. I'm just curious.
He
okay.
Was, yes.
He a little thick. He a little thicker than what I would put Jazz with personally.
He got that height and that smile and that beard.
Okay.
So like, if it's like, okay, you ain't got that one thing, just like, but you got something else. Like that beard looked real healthy. I was rooting for Jordan with this kid with Sexy Chocolate. I really was. She let me down. I was like, Jordan, look, sis, doesn't matter. Just go, but we're not there yet.
Got you. Did you have something to say on that, Chris?
Yeah, I'm just laughing at Jazz. She was like, "You were the chosen one."
Jordan, look where you are. What are you doing?
She trying to. She playing hard. Miss Nia Long gonna play hard to get, man. So we finally get that scene of the guys. All the guys are together. Lance has finally came to his senses. And Q was saying, Quentin's ready to settle down, ready to have kids. You still see this little rift between Merch and Harper, which is not really Harper's fault. Quentin just chose the person he knew the longest. When it comes to best man, so for y'all, Chris, Jazz, for you picking your maid of honor, Chris, you picking your best man. What would be what are the requirements, since we're talking about best men in this? What would be the requirements, or do you have the person picked up?
Jason, you relax. You asking some chill.
That's a good. We are talking about the best man holiday and the best man final chapter. Why not talk about what will be the requirements, or have you picked this person out? You may already have picked it up.
Is this a touchy subject for Jazz?
I do.
Is she triggered?
I do know who it would be, but then it's just sometimes people be like, "Oh, was it me?" It's just like, "Nah, it was somebody else." So
okay, I get.
But I already know who my maid of honor would be. Hands
you have more. You have more than one.
I wouldn't. Jazz not.
You want to say the name?
If she's listening, she already knows that is her.
Okay, so. We just can't know. Okay, I got you. Chris, what about you?
I hope she does. I mean, mine was easy. It was just my best friend since school, so it wasn't no. I knew years ago. Whenever the kids.
Yeah, that'd be.
I'm more curious about Jazz's.
I am too.
I feel like we should dig a little deeper.
Because mine would be I think mine would be a little bit of. I may end up picking two, because it's like I had my best friend. I grew up 6, 7 years old. We've grown up together. And I had my little brother, which is my ace. And
the one that smacked you in the mouth.
Yes, exactly. Yes, the one that slapped me in the mouth. So Merch, he got a whole bunch of edibles. He's dropping on the table. When Quincy said Quentin, I keep saying I want to go to Quincy, so but I'm calling Q because I don't want to mess up. You know what? Forget it. Rhodey from Iron Man 1. He was like, I don't smoke no more. He
lost his job, so you can't call him that. He lost that job.
You know I don't like him, so I'm gonna call him everything except his name. So he drops a whole bunch of edibles. He said he don't smoke no more. He don't do weed no more. He just do the energy and the vibes of the world at the present time.
Can we call him DJ? No.
That's coming up too. That's coming up too. So he tried to figure out if he got to get a return policy because they don't take them. But of course, Lance took some. It was like some of the islands need some some lessons in how to do some things. So he keeps them. The father pops up. Quentin. We never really get a Quentin backstory. I feel like each movie kind of gives us backstory of each person individually. I guess. We see his father. He pulls up and he checks on everybody in the crew. He takes shade at Harper. He pretty much thinks Merch is just to help in the room. And he asks Lance how he's coping. How he's coping with death. He was like, pussy. that's lots of pussy. He's like, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. And then we get this scene of Quentin and Harper outside. They finally talking about, the marriage, and we find out that when they get married, he said they're going to split their time. They're leaving New York and they're going in between Tibet and Colorado. What did y'all think about this conversation that they were having here?
I was curious what y'all thought to get the male opinion, because you see the energy that Harper is giving from like Quentin's responses, because he's just like, this not you. He's like already looking at Q like, this is not you. Are you sure you want to do this? Like, he's trying to get reassurance. Like, did you if y'all were in Harper's situation and one of your best friends was getting married to somebody they just like switch up, like, how would y'all handle that situation? Because I feel like sometimes it could be sensitive, because it's just like, this is the love of my life. I'm not switching. I'm just trying to grow. But then they're like, nah, you seem to be taking a shift. Like, how would y'all handle that?
I think the Q, like, all of his closest friends are all married. Like, they've, pretty much been established. So for him, even if it's not, I don't want to say it's settled, but he's just like, why not? Yeah, it's pretty much it. Even if it's not the love of his life, even if it's not, he's stepping outside of his comfort zone of who he actually is. It's just, sometimes he probably got to that point where he's just like, okay, this is what I'm going to get. And it wasn't a bad get on paper. So, at that point, he's just like,
right. Yeah, I'm Jazz. I love to get uncomfortable. So like, I would definitely make it a real bad. Not gonna say bad, but it would definitely be a conversation as far as like, so what's up, bro? You like, is this something you really on, or like, is you just trying to pass time? Like, I understand we up in age, and a lot of times people get up in age and they just feel like I have to type thing. Like, this is a thing if I just need to get in this, but I don't know. I definitely would have checked them, because you can see. I mean, because if it's the whole thing of switching up, and I also question how close they were within those 2 years. Like, how much have we been talking within there? So if it's like a thing we haven't talked in 2 years, now I pop up and now you just feel to get married. Like, I have to now learn this person, although I know of this person because she's an icon, allegedly. So.
Allegedly.
I mean, she's an icon, Jason.
Did she have a Teen Choice Award or something? Like, she's an icon.
So why this is
how does he not know this?
But why this conversation is going on? I do know that Lance has jumped into the pool bucking naked. What do you think about this, Jazz? You enjoyed that? This is for you.
I wish I was at that pool. Like,
oh my god.
What you mean?
I but I'm gonna respect you on today.
You said
on today.
But I'm curious, because I know they're in another country. But it's funny because the young lady and her name is Jasmine, she just like, come on, Mr. Sullivan. Like,
do it again.
Mr. Lance. What? Did I say it wrong?
No, you want the accent.
I want the accent.
Oh, come on, Mr. Sullivan. I don't know if I did it right. I can't believe I even did it.
I like it. I like it. I liked it. I liked it.
But like, all of the ladies are, of course, looking at him, checking him out at the pool. But I'm just, luckily, obviously, there's no kids around.
True.
Because they would have, Lance would have got locked up.
So we go to the dinner. They have their dinner at 8:00. They're about to have a ring ceremony, and Merch again, he's still shooting at Harper. But he's like, man, nigga, if you don't leave me alone about these rings. And then we just have the women sitting at the table, and it was like, do we have to sit here and watch? If it had like, we got to sit here and watch them do this, and they get basically get these rings tatted on their fingers. It was on the middle finger. He said it was a catastrophe. But then, of course, during all this, my girl, she pops up, and I liked her introduction. In here because she said, which say Jazz?
Julian. Oh
And
wait, I mean Quentin.
she was like, "Oh, habits." I liked how she came into it. That was dope how they did that. But that was the conclusion of the episode one. Did y'all have anything that y'all wanted to touch on? Because I ain't gonna say I speed ran, but I definitely didn't go over all the smaller details of things.
No, I think you touched on the main points.
I would say Harper has, like, during this entire episode, he was struggling how to tell everybody about the movie based on the book. And so everybody he told, he was just like, did you tell Lance? Did you tell Lance? And so he finally told Lance at the dinner, well, before the dinner. Lance seemed like he was cool with it. Then it seems like it shifted a little. And I was just like, uh-oh. And Harper was caught off guard. So I was just like, all right, Lance. Like, I was just hoping when I saw this episode, they wouldn't still latch on to what happened in the first movie. You know what I mean? But I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
it makes sense that it would.
Yeah, because we do have, because I don't know if you did a rewatch, Chris. I know me and Jazz did, but I watched a holiday, and they still had like a lot of unresolved feelings within that situation. They had never addressed it. Lance had just been living like it never happened, and
not like it never happened. He was just trying to put the blame on Harper. He still remember what happened.
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
He just didn't want to put blame on Mia. He was trying to keep Mia in that light of Harper initiated it, but we realized in the flashback in the first movie who really initiated, and we found out why it.
I think another thing too to mention this episode is merch. So they had a thing with money. He kept mentioning, the prices of different things. That was with the edibles and the strippers. I think was that this episode or two?
It was the same one because he was well, he talks about strippers in the next one because he reminds me of Jazz, but Jazz is like a big budgeter. So that's what he more so like but I guess he's a teacher and whatnot. He's planning out things. What? That was too much.
It was not a compliment.
I was just looking at Jazz the whole time. Like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Jazz is careful. Jazz is careful with money, man. That's all.
You're indirectly trying to say that I'm cheap. That's what it sounds like, Jason.
Are
Jazz
you cheap?
is not cheap.
Are you cheap?
No.
You spend on what you want to spend on, right?
Yeah.
Are you a budgeter?
Yes, I think budgeting is important. But just because you budget doesn't mean you cheap.
I don't think he's cheap. He has kids.
I just had to say that because how you were explaining it.
My bad. I'm sorry. That wasn't what I was. I didn't call you Mr. Krabs. I didn't call you Mr. Krabs. I didn't say that.
Everybody hates Chris.
I'm like, anybody that know me, like,
oh, boy from the game.
Jason Pitts.
Jason Pitts. Jazz Pitts is nuts. Yeah, nah. You're not doing that.
Relax.
My bad.
No, Jason. Episode 2, my nigga, let's go.
Oh, excuse me. Episode 2, the wedding. All right, so we just got Shelby arriving, so everybody's trying to come up to her and figure out why she here, man. So she pulls up. Yeah, you better get your popcorn ready. I feel like that was Terrell Owens, right? Ain't that what he said when he played for the Cowboys? I feel like maybe the Eagles. Like, you better get your popcorn ready because he was for to put on the show.
He was with the 49ers, yeah.
Oh, it was 49ers. Okay. So yeah, it was one of them 3 teams, and he showed out each one. Put that man in the Hall of Fame. If Lance Sullivan can get there, Terrell Owens can get there. I know. Yeah.
I have no comment.
Oh man, so we have this toxic relationship between Q and Shelby, and of course, you see where it led to. Somebody on their back, somebody riding them into the sunset within this scene. And another shot at Screen 5. We have a great great way to introduce a character that's no longer in this series. We have an introduction of Mia. We have Mia laying in the bed with Lance. He's on the island. He's enjoying life. He kisses her, but then once he kisses her, he realizes he sees Jasmine. I'm like, oh, he got Jasmine. But of course, that was a dream as well. He woke up. It was some random lady. But this scene reminded me of Nia Long in Friday. When he looks outside, he sees her running in slow motion going past the house. Yeah. And he's like, oh, man. Excuse me. And then Harper, he gets a phone call from his publisher. Well, I think that's his manager. I think the publisher just wants to go ahead through with the book. But the gentleman reaches out to him, tells him to pursue the movie. He tells him how much money is involved with the movie, but Harper seemingly wants to preserve friendships or relationships. What would y'all have done in this situation? Would y'all have pursued the book, or would y'all have tried to preserve the relationship? How would y'all have handled this?
Am I going first?
Yes.
You have a conversation, but I'm definitely trying to go for the money. But I'm not going to do it at the expense of the relationships. So, but the money would be like, I don't think it's just as easy as say, screw these relationships, I'm getting all this money, because that's just me.
Everything Chris said. Actually, not the part of I'm thinking about the money. I'm thinking about the friendships.
Well, yeah, you're thinking about the friendship, but the money is an important aspect. Like, he has a wife, and he got family, so you gotta think about that.
He does. And we finally have this.
Think about me.
I guess. We have this conflict resolution going on between Candace and Murch. Pretty much Murch has been focused on trying to be the best man and doing everything except focus on his wife. And her whole point of going this trip was to get some. She's trying to get laid. She's trying to be slapped up against the wall. She want that thing across her face. She want to be killed on this vacation. But
what version of this episode did you watch? Because I didn't.
You didn't get that one. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to mail it to you. It was a different version. But
mail it to me.
He got the exclusive uncut DVD version. Like, who is this guy?
Maybe send an email. I email it to you. Then Hart pulls up right after he agrees to go handle stuff with his wife. Hart pulls up. Hey, I gotta focus on Shelby because you secured the bachelors for the women's and for the bachelor party. And he's like, oh, you won't. Oh man, when duty calls, he picks up the phone. He already forgot his wife. In that, and Harper, he seals the deal with you that dude. Because that's what he kept on saying. The students call him saying, I'm that dude. And I like that little tidbit.
I thought it was ironic too that Candace used to be a stripper, and now the priority is strippers over her too. I'm just like, hey, it's all full circle.
It is. A little bit, just a little bit different though, because he's a good dude. He was handling it the way he needs to. But of course, like I said, we still see Robin. She's mixing with the people, rubbing the elbows, touching, seeing how the culture is, still affirming herself. And like I said, there's a lot of foreshadowing within this, and it's another part of this that comes back up when she gets mad about them trying to move like she wasn't trying to move. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Miss Jordan is approached by Mr. Chocolate, but he, when this time she's available, he's like, I'm not. So he kind of flipped the scenario. How would this have made you feel, Jazz?
I'm not even gonna lie. That would have been such a turn on, especially being as he walked away, he winked at her. Like, look, sis, the opportunity was there. And she was just playing, like, she tried to make herself seem like she was always busy, but then it's just like, oh, I got time for you. He's like, well, I ain't got time for you.
Like, I'm busy too. What you mean?
Right. So that's just like, oh, wow. Yeah, I'd have been like, I need to definitely holler at him on this trip. And it's funny because she was just talking to herself. She just like, see, that's why I'm fucking niggas. And now I'm sitting here talking to myself. And I was just like, Jordan, like, what is going on with you? But I thought that scene was funny. I like how he switched it up on her.
I did. But to talk about switch ups, we have the scene between Shelby and Ziamora. They pull up on her. They have this conversation, and she was like, "How are you feeling?" She was, I'm relaxed. Had a great night. I had a ball." And she was like, "You had a." She was like, That's a nice selection of word, ball. What you mean two?" And she said that she slept with Q, and she asked her, "How does she taste?" And I was like, "If you gonna do it, that's how you do it." You know what I'm saying? If you gonna go out there, go ahead, throw the squabble. Go ahead, throw that squabble in it within the covers,
I'm
throw a
not gonna
wrench
lie.
in the game.
When she said that to Shelby, I said, "Shelby, you got to swing on her, sis. There's nothing you can say after that. You have to fight her. You
have to fight her for sleeping with her fiance." Yeah, exactly.
Look, hey. I mean, realistically, like we found out later, her and Q, 15-year situationship. Hell, she probably write him off on her taxes. Like,
man,
when she said that and Shelby had nothing to say, I said, "Damn, Shelby, damn."
Gotcha.
And so we get the men. They get massages. They talking about the whole Q Shelby. He said he's done with her. It's no more happening. Although they had sex last night, he was like, "Bro, what?" He was like, "I mean, it ain't nothing. That's it. That's the end of it." They set up the merch gets the call about the strippers. He's trying to set up, and this what Chris was talking about, because he was saying it's $500 per, and that's a lot of. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's a lot of money for them. 500 plus tips. I don't know how much it costs for a stripper, but that's a lot of money. 500 plus, but I mean, if you setting up that type of night, it needs to be.
I don't think Jazz believes you that you don't know how much it is for a stripper.
Oh,
she looked like, "Nigga, shut up."
No, it's because I know Jason don't be trying to throw no money.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure Jason don't know how much it costs.
500 sound like too much though. They don't sound like too much to you?
Yeah, that's too much. Better go to the never mind. Go to the corner and get something.
So then the crew, they get back together. They finna go.
There's plenty of water. It's mad water.
Y'all go bathe up there, man. Bring your ass back down. And then the crew, they go for an ayahuasca journey. In the midst of the journey, as they're about to do it, Robin has given Harper a drink with a marijuana root inside of it. Basically would help him in that area to help her later in the evening. Of course, Lance, he hears this and he was like, "Hey, I want some of that. Let me get some of that root." He's like, "What?" Because he said, last night I had a situation. I couldn't perform the way I needed to, so I need something to motivate me, to push me. He's like, I need some. Let me get some of that root. And he passes off. He doesn't do the ayahuasca journey. But this scene here, while it does play like a funny, it comes off like a funny situation. I feel like this is what like leads the rest of this story, because everybody pretty much what they deal with here is what is the rest of the show is about. So before I go into that, what did y'all think about them taking this drink?
I definitely would have taken this journey.
I would have too.
I would have. Like, it was, yes. I was excited for them.
like he was a part of it, huh?
Yes, because I'm curious, like, if I were to go on a journey like that, what would I see or what would I do? What would come to the forefront of my life that would be the focus during that type of journey? So, like, I would love to experience that.
And it was funny too, because Mr. Chocolate actually ended up and Neil was like, "Wait, what?"
Both the Mr. Bobo Hezon as they're going through it. So I feel like, I mean, everybody had a different experience. Shelby was cleansed, which it kind of plays out like that for her. Like the rest of the story, she's not really unhinged no more after this. She has one more scene like crazy, but beyond that, she's not really going crazy anymore. She, like he said, maybe released the toxins in her body. You have Jordan figuring out finally trying to find that peace because she's always on the move. She's always on the go. You don't really see Robin. Robin is in the background. She's just centered the entire time. She don't say nothing. She doesn't do nothing. She's not moving. She's one with the world. Of course, you have Harper. He's writing a book, writing receipts. Nothing is making sense. He's just like, no, 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 no. And then you got Merch and Candace. Of course, Merch is just stuck, which that's pretty much his journey. And this he doesn't go anywhere. Well, he's trying to find somewhere to go. Let me say that. And then you got Candace. She's opened up to this plant healing and how the ayahuasca can help certain people in different things, especially with them having a kid with a social disorder, which I maybe because of my ignorance, but I really didn't really hear about a lot of these different disorders and things until like Summer Walker. Am I tripping?
You mean like Summer Walker, like anxiety and stuff?
She has social anxiety, but like right. I had never heard of a lot of these things until when she did. Like it came to like a forefront. Then it's like, yeah, I've always had this, or I've been dealing with this, or because you like a lot of people don't like public speaking.
Right.
I like to speak in front of crowds, but that's never been a thing. I get nervous, like I get scared, like it's not a thing of why I can't speak.
It might be one of those things to where it's always been there and we knew about it, but we just didn't have a name for it.
Yeah.
So it might have been something like that because I hate public speaking. Like I took a business class and I spoke in front of the class. I hated it. And then my teacher told me how many times I said, I'm like, sis, you got a class full of 30 people. Of course I'm gonna say, but yeah.
What's that? Communication? The teacher you gotta take when you first get to college?
It wasn't when I first got there, but like later on, you definitely got to take a communications course. That shit. But but Jason, I want to say, like, with you breaking down every experience each character went through, I didn't even connect those dots that they were type of foreshadowing for later on. Because when I think about it, like this episode, Shelby was cleansed from like all of that bullshit we seen her in and previous stuff, and then just Harper, and then like Candace and Merch. Like I didn't even think about that. So that's dope.
Yeah, I peeped that the first time I seen that. I wondered if this stuff's gonna come back up. I'm gonna just pay attention. When I went back to, I'm like, okay, yep, it definitely. When I went back to my rewatch, I'm like, yep, it was everything that I thought it was. But because they said it was gonna be, you got to be careful with the journey. It's gonna definitely take you on one. Yeah. We had a much needed conversation between Shelby and Q. Because he's just checking her. He's telling her like, you never offer me more than your body. Like you never gave that to me, and I tried to. And she just, she was sheltered. She sheltered herself. I'm not sure when she was hurt or how she got hurt, but she definitely sheltered herself. And what?
No, go ahead.
What y'all think about this scene? What y'all laughing at? I'm trying to understand. What y'all laughing at?
Jason. Good question, Jason. Let's ask Jazz what she thinks about this scene. I'm just trying to get discussion going.
Nah, I thought this scene was really deep. Like, because Chris, relax.
My bad.
I thought this scene was deep because normally when you're involved with somebody, you have a shell, and that shell kind of protects you from them actually seeing who you really are. When Shelby had that shell up, Q already knew who she was. Like they had a 15-year situationship. That's a long ass time. Like when you involved with somebody that long, they know who you are. So when you try to put up that shell, they just looking past that. They just like, that's not you. And so Q basically told Shelby about herself. So I thought this interaction, I was just like, damn. I was like, whew, okay, I see what y'all doing. How did y'all feel about this scene?
I enjoyed it. Like a lot of the scenes between them two are my favorite. Like they're probably my favorite couple. Throughout, I want to say just early on, but throughout the entire series, it was my favorite couple. Just watching them interact because it was they went through all the lows. You know what I'm saying? So they were going through the highs, and even within here you had complications within a relationship, but that's a relationship. It's not going to be all flower, cards, and candy every day. You're going to have a tribulation. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it too.
Taco Tuesday, you're right.
Taco Tuesday, yeah. No, I enjoyed it too. I think it was good. It showed a different side of Shelby because she's had
Right.
You know, her character. So now just breaking it down, which I was looking forward to that when this show was announced, because it wasn't a movie. You can flesh out all the characters. So I was really looking forward to how they would flesh out each individual. And this is one of those moments I was like, okay, they did a really good job.
They did.
I agree.
You got Lance, because he didn't do the journey. He's in the room. He's chewing on. I feel like I'm assuming that wasn't ayahuasca, but he was chewing on some kind of maybe maca root, possibly. He's just chewing on it, trying to see if he gonna get his man to move. But I guess he wasn't. But he's seen Jasmine. Of course, he's seen Jasmine. So he gets out. He's going running with her. They at the mountain. And it's super dope that she allowed him to grieve to her. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of people probably wouldn't be comfortable in it, and we don't really know how she feels about it, but she's open to it. She allows him to speak. She allows that conversation to happen, because he's still, like I said, still in agreement with his wife, and he's just saying, they say time heals, but it hasn't. But it's only been 2 years. So that's if that was your world and you lost it, some people don't come back from that. So for him to even still try, I commend him in that situation. I love how they wrote him to try to come back.
Jason, I also want to add, in this scene when he was talking to her, he was talking about his parenting skills. He said, without her, I don't know how to be a good parent. And so you think about that, and then you see what happens later on in the series. Definitely just like, it's like when I did my rewatch, it was a few things in here. I was just like, oh shit. Like scenes, situations, lines that were said. And it was just like, wow. Because he's trying to figure out who his identity is with Mia being gone.
Right.
So I think it was good for her character to be there. And then he started to have fantasies about sis. I'm not saying it's because her name is Jasmine, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, it's not because it's Jasmine.
Jason shot that down quick. He didn't give you no hope. That's crazy.
Chris, why he hating? Why he hating?
Hey man.
Hey man, Jazz got her shoulders out. Ain't no hate. I'm just making. I got to balance this out. I got to balance this out. And so we got the conclusion of Will, Mr. Chocolate, Mr. Bobo Eason, and Jordan. They sitting down. She's telling them about her journey and what she's gonna do and how she's gonna focus back when she gets back home. And he said, I can visit you. She obliged, and he kind of told her what he was into, and I'm assuming it was a bit too much. And he took her a little too fast, because she was like, "Oh, you need to stay on that side of the room, stay over there. We not doing any of that." Like
I was so upset with Jordan. I'm like, Jordan, sis.
Look at
Sis.
Jazz.
I'm sure it's a lot of women that was rooting for Jordan in this scene.
I'm Jazz. Look, all right. So Jordan may not be into being hung upside down and flailed and popped in the face like that. Look, that seemed like a bit
role
much for
play,
some people.
Be a rag doll. It might help her with work to where she won't be as stressed. I'm rooting for her success. So she has success.
Wants to be hung upside down like a bat and beat across the face with it.
Like a bat. I'm talking about the character in the show. I was rooting for her, and I was just like, Jordan, like, what is happening? And then to see what she got later down the line.
Yeah, man. Duke and power. He a buster. I ain't like his character made me mad.
I hated his character, but we're not there yet.
Man. So right before we go into the bachelor party, we see Merch. He's finally done with the best man stuff. He's going back to Candace, but now it's Candace. She flips it. Shelby comes to the room like, "Hey, sis, I need you," and they're like, "Wait, you need me of all people?" Because the last movie they fought.
Right.
So this time she needs needs her to help her set up something that we later see is a dance for DJ from Hustle and Flow. And then we have the situation we see where Q, he's walking up, he sees the billboard of the Spivey Hotel and Resorts, and Zia Mora is the face of the franchise now, and he's just like, well, what's going on? Because he's seeing it's a business move. It's a business move behind him, although he's supposedly happy. Happy with the situation, which we know he's not. You can just see his entire demeanor. Every time she's around, it's more of it's like a force. He's trying to force it himself. to do it. But then we, Harper like, bro, you got to get out. He's like, I'm not tatting my finger, man. Stop trying to be coming with this in the 11th hour bull crap, trying to make me not get married, bro. It's over with. This is a done deal. It's happening.
He was like, but is it on the right finger? He said, nigga, you know that was a crazy night. No. He was like, you were there. And it just reminded me of all those times where I had friends to remind me of wild nights. And I'm just like, you ain't got to remind me. You was there. Like, no, you know how wild it was. Let's not revisit.
And we go to the bachelor party, and the strippers late. They're trying to get they need singles for the strippers. Harper is pretty much just gave up the role. I don't know where he was at, like where his mind was. Like if he was just more of a let me just give this to merch type of situation. Like he was just intentionally just giving it to him because he didn't care, or whatnot. And then we get Shelby. First we get the strippers. The strippers enter first. Merch finally got them to come in, and he slaps one of the strippers in the face. And I'm surprised they didn't jump him. They should have jumped him. That would have been dope to see him get jumped by the strippers, but they didn't jump him. They let him get off with the hit, and then his wife pops up, and she brings Shelby in. And man, this was.
What y'all think about this scene?
Jason was ready to give her everything.
You know what? Let public service announcement. I do not like Terrence Howard. This is not. I don't like Terrence Howard because of his role in Hustle and Flow and the way he say Maine. It's like he adds a silent G when he says Maine. Maine is Mane for y'all that do not know.
So it's Memphis beef.
It is a Memphis beef. But then, like in 2003, he got a lap dance.
He went back 20 years.
He got a lap dance from Beyonce to cater to you.
Oh, I remember that. So is that too? Wow.
That's it. Now he get a lap dance from Shelby, and I'm just like, man, this is another trigger all over again. I'm hating because now I wish I was this nigga. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I wish I was him. I want to sit in that seat because Shelby is great, man. I don't know. The entire cast is beautiful. But man, yeah.
Shelby just do something to you.
Man, Shelby and Nia, oh boy, that's why they in my background. Yes, sir. I need them on my shoulder. You hear me? The devil and the angel. My bad.
How did y'all feel? Jason already said it. Chris, how did you feel about this scene?
I enjoyed it very much.
A quick answer. That's what I'm talking about.
But she killed it. She killed it. She left her. Sent him a text message. Meet me at the cabana at 1:00. We feel the yank, you know what I mean?
So hold on, Jason. I want to go back to the scene because I thought it was funny. You saw Candace in the background, like I told her that. She flexible because it's just like having that homegirl that's rooting you on, especially because Shelby is doing all of this because she's like, I'm trying to win him over so he don't get married. So she's like, this is a dance of my life.
Hey.
So the whole that whole situation is super ironic because she was a dancer who stole Shelby's original man, and now it's just like,
go ahead, Chris.
It's just like, hey, that's
all you need is basically, I guess it's not. They say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but actually, it might be through a dance. But anyway, we ain't got to go to that.
I can still remember my first dance. Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, I had to circle back.
Were you embarrassed? Because I was.
So I was more so. I wasn't embarrassed by the dance. I think if anything, I was super shy. So speaking to women, like I had a real problem with that. So once I get past that,
how old were you?
I was like 15.
Yeah, I was in
14, 15, 1 or 2.
No, 9th grade. How old is
I was 9. I think I was 9th grade. I like 14.
It was either 8th or 9th grade. But I was
whenever Chris Brown Yo came out. So they had to be like
2005.
2005. That was my first. That was my first dance.
Man. It's embarrassing, but I feel like I get why it's embarrassing.
Yeah. So pretty much after this, Shelby's waiting for Quentin to pull up, but it's Harper instead. Harper pull up and he kind of tell her, it's kind of embarrassing. Shelby, you gotta go. We got your flight. You gotta leave here in the morning. She was like, nah, where is Quentin? I ain't listening to you, boy. Get out of my face, boy. Bye. Then Zia Moore pulls up like, bro, I'm an icon. You're a reality star. Your life can't be tied to just having sex with this dude. That's what your legacy gonna be. Like, come on, let it go. Don't let this be your way. And she pretty much she bows out. She bows the situation, tells him don't hurt him. And then she pretty much, she leaves. And then we see Quentin. He's fake worried about her popping up. He like, man, she gonna pop up like a ninja, man. I know she just gonna, pop up somewhere. And we, like this is when his feelings finally come out because he's like, they like, well, she gone, she not popping up. You gotta worry about that. He's like, for real? So I'm done with her. Yeah, he was like, you want to go to the airport and see if she gone? He's like, yeah, let's go. Let's head over there. Let's head to the airport. Which, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried both times I seen this. When Quentin and her had this scene, and like I don't think there's been a more emotional relationship. If you want to deal with Lance crying holding Mia when he getting married, but he wasn't crying because he was happy he was getting married.
Yeah, everything in his mind was racing, boy.
But yeah, now Quentin when he was talking to her, and he like that was like if you're gonna have a real life situation, I feel like that would have been the way you end a toxic relationship. If you really think about it, that's how you bring it to an end. You marry her. Like if you're gonna bring a toxic relationship to an end, that's how you do it. But it's not just a hit and run situation no more. He pretty much said, I can't stand you. But then he said, like, what am I gonna do without you? You everywhere I'm supposed to be. You on every billboard. You in every place. You're in my mind. The sounds I make when I'm inside of you, and everybody's like, hold up.
He was bearing it all, right? Hey, yeah.
Man, he said, I don't know who I'm gonna be when you're not there. He said, I'm not me without you. And he basically said, I love you. They get married. Like, what did y'all think about it? Y'all didn't feel this same? Y'all like to hit me?
I mean, I was cool with them getting married. I was cool with them getting married. I'm as long as he didn't marry Zia Moore, because I don't know how that would have. And then it's just bringing the characters back together. I'm gonna hear what Jazz got to say though.
I'm not, look, that airport scene was toxic as hell. But I was just sitting here, I was just like, Shelby is an Aquarius, like hands down.
Oh, snap.
I said that. I said, look.
She gonna always take a shot at us, man. Come on, man. We here.
It's y'all season 2. I have to. Forget all of y'all.
And you act like it's not warranted. Like, come on, Jason, be real.
Exactly.
It ain't. I'm not going with that. I'm not allowing y'all to slander no Aquarius. Nope. I'm not going for it. Not on duty. Not on duty. Not on duty.
But I thought this scene I was just like, damn, because he was just like, I'm gonna get on one knee. She didn't turn around. And then he was like, I'm gonna get on both knees. And when he was just like, come over here, I was just like, whew. It was intense. Like, yeah. I'm not gonna go deeper into.
I understand. And then we catch up after the wedding. We find out Zia Moore burnt down. I guess she burnt down some kind of shack or cot or whatever. Maybe what they were staying in. She burnt that down.
Still lighting Sage.
Yeah, but yeah.
Which is, if you think about it, that's like somebody that commits a sin, but they ask for forgiveness. It's just like,
please, God, don't let me get caught after this bank robbery. Amen.
I'm about to shoot his head off, but hey, forgive me.
Right. I'm just.
What's that? Boondock Saints? They say a prayer before they shoot you.
Yeah.
You never seen that? Yeah, you gotta check. If you like them type of movies, you'll be into it.
Isn't that Quentin Tarantino?
It's not Quentin.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
But it's in the same kind of line of it. But so Zia Moore, she burnt down the cot. Whatever she burnt down, she burnt something down before she left. We find out Lance, he was trying to get with Jasmine, but Jasmine is engaged. So that situation it put a halt to him, but it also gave him not purpose, but it kind of focused him more because he definitely lost a lot of it, but she helps him regain consciousness because he said he's in a place he hasn't been in quite some time. Mm-hmm. When he's talking to Lance, and they kind of, not Lance, but talking to Harper. And then Harper said he wants to do the movie as long as everybody gives their blessing, and everybody does. But Lance's only condition was let him know who would know who Mia is or who plays Mia before they do the role. And one thing that me and Jazz, I don't know if you caught it too, Chris, like they had been playing the first part of the movie, And Best Man Holiday is who Kennedy's father was, and we find out, we get the reveal that Rhodey's daughter, he's actually the father of Kennedy.
His name is
They
Q.
and they kept on playing it in the first movie. They kept playing it like in the holiday, like the relationship that they had. It was always, it was super close. He always helps her out, and he always like, hey, you need to take care of her. Like, you keep on acting crazy. This is what you need to focus on. Here and then, like I said, once they getting ready to, I don't know if they're getting ready to leave, but they're on the boat. They're kicking it on the boat, and we see Robin. She wants to stay. Robin doesn't want to leave. She jumps in the water. I know this is jazz stuff. She definitely jumping off boats, cutting backflips, somersaulting into the water.
I can swim now. I can swim, so it's cool.
Jasmine Phelps in the building.
Out here.
Phelps in the building.
No weed on the side, none of that. Just all swimming.
And then, like I said, we get the ending of the show. It shows, Jordan's been kind of putting off one phone call. She kept putting it off, and she finally answers it, and she gets the CEO job at NBC. And then we see Harper is now casting for the Unfinished Business movie. So we see that, and I think that was it at this point. We end this episode, and that was the conclusion of the wedding. What y'all think about? Or should I have anything you wanted to add in there?
Nah, I think we covered it. I think we covered everything.
At this point, I was just looking forward to you back home now. So how's everything gonna?
So and I love this flash forward. Episode 3, Brown Girl Dreaming. So we have a super dope montage of how you flash forward.
Yeah.
Like, and they did it in such a way, like, it touched everybody without regurgitating anything that went on. So it shows what Robin's been doing. She's been an activist. Her business, which I love that names. What is Robin's Nest? I like that. That was the name of her business. So that's booming. She's an activist. She's been going crazy with the Black Lives Matter to the different race,
women's march,
women's rights. Jordan, CEO, NBC, going crazy. Candace has took that journey. She's back in school. She's trying to get her PhD. She's looking at her I guess her thesis is she wants to use a plant-based as opposed to the medicines they've been giving her daughter for, well, not just her daughter, but other people that she's saying to help with a social disorder. But Quentin, we see Quentin, his business is going crazy. Right now he's opened up different international businesses, but also, unfortunately, we have the COVID aspect. COVID hit him, and he took a real hit due to COVID. Then you got Lance. Lance he's opened up different businesses. And then of course he tries to do sports casting with Stephen A, which we know how that's gonna go.
Yeah. If I ever see that on like first take, that was insane. He's about to choke Stephen A out.
And then you got Harper, he's pushing his book. But we see a new conversation that we can get into that I really liked. Which pretty much plays the rest of the series out. Harper, he wants more. Harper wants to push more. He's getting tired of the same bumper G stories. He's tired dealing with unfinished business and what it brings up, or I guess that trauma that it plays in his life, or in his family's life, because I mean that's something that it plays out throughout the entire friend relationship, and he wants to buy a new house. Excuse me. And then we also see Harper. What happened?
I was gonna ask Chris what he think because he just reacted.
You talking about when she did the contribution?
No, I was gonna say when Jason mentioned Harper trying to get a new house, he was like, "Bruh." So I was trying to figure out
just that whole conversation they had where they're on 2 separate pages, and
I mean, it kind of plays out later, which it doesn't really happen here, but it's the thing of when you're in a relationship, trying to make somebody be a mind reader, because she mentioned something, but it was more of in passing. It wasn't a, hey, let's sit down, let's have a conversation about this. This is what I want to do. It was more of a, we should stay here. I feel free here. You can write here. Mia can learn here. we can help, we can do X, Y, Z, but it wasn't a real in-depth conversation. Like he asked her and she jumped in the water. Like that was the end of that conversation. Like she just went and jumped. So I'm not blaming her. It was just a thing of communication is key.
Yeah.
Understand that. And then we have Merch and Candace. Like I said, Candace is now in school, and now Merch is having to take on her responsibilities as well as whatever he was doing prior to. So now he's taking on 2 different jobs. So we see the dynamic in the household is now changing here. Because like I said, we have she needs to go to this class to see Dr. Temple. And that pretty much leaves one daughter. She has a project needs to be taken care of, which she was gonna ask her mom. She's like, well, I'm unable to. Your dad can take you. She said, but don't forget about my violin class. I gotta do this as well. He's like, okay, well, I got that too. And like I said, you don't really think about that when you're in the home, because I mean, you're just doing what you have to do, but eventually it can take a toll on you because you're doing everything, and like you forget do something, then you at some point forget about who you are and what you got to do, like just for self. And we got Mr. Harper trying to sell cologne. What did y'all think about this scene?
You mean
Lance? Yeah, Lance.
Why do I keep confused? They bald head. That's cool. So
you seen that that talk show when Morris Chestnut was on? And he said people was confusing him for Tay Diggs. That's Jason.
Nah, yeah, that's me right
That's
now. So
crazy because isn't Morris Chestnut taller than Tay Diggs?
they don't look alike at all.
They both bald black guys. So
if I say their real names, I wouldn't confuse it. It's just when I'm saying their names in this show, I'm confusing it. So Lance Morris Chestnut is trying to sell cologne. What did y'all think about this fake? What's the commercial?
The jingle.
Yeah, the jingle. He's a half man, half scepter. He just walking Old Spice.
Oh, Old Spice commercial. Yeah.
That guy. The guy. Yeah. What did y'all think about this scene here?
That's funny you mentioned the Old Spice commercial because it is. Yeah, that's funny. I just thought it was funny. He kept messing up his lines like the way but he's just trying to figure out something. So it's not what he's really into. And well, we're not there yet. But I just thought this scene was funny. I'm trying to talk about it without going too far ahead.
You can, bro. You can. As long as it's within these episodes.
That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, you mean it's later?
Right.
Okay, got you.
But I thought this was a funny scene, and you could tell his the actress was sort of like getting.
She did look frustrated with it.
She's like, okay,
like, come on, bro. Come on,
like
bro.
what you doing?
Yeah, but how did y'all feel like with Jordan being she's the VP, right, or is she the CEO?
I feel like she's the CEO, but I could be wrong.
She was at least second in command.
She was
right.
All
right, so she's definitely upper management, and she's dealing with a lot of backlash. And I like how they incorporated Black Twitter.
That was funny
because you see Shelby calling her, and she's just like, Shelby's over here having beef with Meg Thee Stallion, but then that beef got put on pause because she just like, Jordan, you getting dragged on Black Twitter.
She said, "Hate does not help. Hate does not help."
Right. Which is just like getting dragged on Black Twitter is nothing that you want as something that happened to your life events, because Black Twitter that shit's dangerous. And so like they were making memes, they were making GIFs and all of this stuff because I believe she had a episode on one of her networks and she canceled it, but she was trying to incorporate her in another series with 3 other Black women. And so it affected the culture into where Black Twitter was killing Jordan. And Shelby's all about drama, all of that. So she's like, Jordan, you need to do this. You need to say this.
Yeah.
And Jordan is just like, I ain't got time for that. But then she's just like, damn, I'm not trying to get killed by Black Twitter. Because realistically, if y'all go on Twitter today and you see a bunch of comments about a show that's either racist, controversial. So are you going to want to watch it? Are you going to want to support it? Are you going to want to give it your views if you see Black Twitter is killing it?
See, that's
it depends. It depends sometimes because you're like, let me see the train wreck.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a car accident. Yeah, it's like a car wreck. It's like
the Velma show. Everybody killing that show right now, and I tried to know to see.
Yeah, I ain't watching that show. Sorry. I hope that ain't on the docket because I ain't watching Velma.
No. Nah, Velma's good. I'm sorry. That shit is funny. I'm all caught up.
If you like it, I love it.
They said she's like the Tyler Perry, like a woman.
I saw that TikTok.
People are so upset. I didn't think people would be so sensitive about Scooby and Shaggy. And Shaggy's black.
Scooby not even on there.
Look, you don't need a dog all the time.
I'm just saying he's not even a part of it. But yeah, I agree. It's different. I mean, it's different. It's different. I definitely watch it.
Let loose, Jason. Come on now. Let loose. Huh? Say what you really think.
Hey man, Mindy, who she be pandering to? That's why people don't like it. She been pandering to, she pandering to the white boys out here. But it is what it is. And she shits on her own culture. So
sometimes Harper, you just need a little push. That's all.
So like I said, we got Harper. He's showing Robin the house. Mm-hmm. Robin's, you can see in Robin's face, she's very hesitant, which also went back to when he announced he's going to do the movie. She was you can see her face. She was like apprehensive. You can look at it in her and just tell she's like, nah, I'm not fooling with this. And like I said, there was a thing there because she asked him, why is it that he's pushing for everything that he's pushing for? Which it makes me, want to question with y'all. Like, well, I mean, where were you guys on the spectrum here? Harper feels he's not fulfilling something. Something is not fulfilled for him, and he's tired of doing the same thing. He wants to switch it up. He wants to change it. She's like, I don't want to get caught up in this thing if you're chasing stuff, because you're always chasing something, and when you keep on chasing, you're never happy with what you have, or you can't. She's trying to be present in where she is, and he's looking, down the road. Where did you guys land in this?
When I saw this, I was like, most things in life you need a balance, and you also have to take into consideration the other person. And they were just on two completely different levels. Like, she's good, and I think a lot of Harper is he's, as the man, you want to provide and make sure your family is secure. So part of that is the reason why he's going so hard and everything. But just being present, I completely understood Robin's point as well. Like, sometimes the grind culture, you're not really there. You can see how free she was when they were on vacation and everything. So that's something that she got a taste of. That she wants to, stay present in the moment. She wants to enjoy, do things that she loves, and not just always feel like, oh, we have to go. So I understood, both sides, but I understood Robin's point a lot more, simply because she got a taste of it when they were out, and she's just like, okay, this feels good to her, this is what she wants, and she's just content with that.
I agree with everything Chris said. And then also, when you look back at the first movie, when Robin and Harper were having a conversation in the tub, she just said, because Harper was just trying to think of the next thing, and Robin was like, just live in the moment.
Yeah.
She just like, just live here, which was a line that he used as he was proposing to her. And she just like, well, what about all of this? And he was just like, just live in the moment. So it's just like, that's always been her mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's just like, why can't you just be happy right now? And I feel like maybe when Harper was going through those tough times in The Best Man Holiday, the movie, because he got assistance from Quentin, he didn't want people to know that they were struggling financially. He doesn't want to go back to that lifestyle, which is why I can understand his point of view as well, because he's like, I don't want my family to struggle. I don't want my family to go through any kind of anything. I want them to be good. So it kind of like, when I was looking at the dilemmas that those two characters were going through, I understood both of their sides after looking at the first film and then the second film, and I was just like, but I need y'all to be able to come together and find a solution, because I'm just like, y'all are like on two different pages right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was like I said, it was a hell of a power struggle. And it may not even been a power struggle. And like I said, it definitely makes you question, because she was willing to uproot her entire life to go to a different country, as opposed to him just moving different neighborhoods. So it was just, we already know there's some kind of conflict here, and it needs to be addressed sooner than later. Within this, and you mentioned Jordan getting dragged and her attempting, because of she removed the network, not a network but a show from the network, and then offered the lady, and she allegedly she was going to bite, but then she changed her mind. in there, and she puts Shelby in place. She goes to Shelby, has Shelby do it. Shelby tanked. She did horrible within the show, but then she told her, she was like, her and Harper, they had this her and Jordan Harper had a conversation. They sat down about what they're pretty much not complacent, but them two, I mean, they said they, I guess, soulmates, I guess, I don't know. They understood each other. It's always somebody that's understanding, ain't it? Somebody always.
I guess.
So they basically help each other out in how to handle their situation. So she goes back to she goes back to Shelby and was like, okay, so they hate you, but this is how we can make it good. So we need less of housewife Shelby, more of debate team college Shelby. She's like, I can do it, but I don't want to. And in the midst of her trying to figure this out within herself, Quentin pops in. Like I said, I love him because every time anything that happens, like he gonna support her 100%. And he was just like, man, you the baddest. You really said you fine, funny, and fully educated. And he just just put that better in his bite, just affirming her that she can do what needs to be done in the business, and they kill it. She kills it. She comes back. The ratings they go out through the roof, and she kills the position. And then we find out. Oh, go ahead, Des.
I was gonna say I definitely enjoyed this scene between Shelby and Quentin, because then it showed you the support that your spouse gives. And it's not the Black woman giving it to the Black man, but it's a Black man giving it to the Black woman. He saw her upset, trying to figure out what was going on. And he's just like, I don't even know why you being hesitant with yourself, because you can handle this. You got this. And so at that moment, I was just like, they are my definitely favorite couple, because I was just like, that support that they give each other, that they bounce off of each other. Like, it was just.
Yeah. So then we have the guys. They link up again, and they just having this conversation. And Harper is pretty much saying, Robin, I show her this beautiful house. I'm showing her all these different things. I want to do something more meaningful with my writing. And Q, per usual, Q typically is the voice of reason in every situation. Like, or he's pushing the envelope with what he's saying. He was like, I mean, like, Harper, why you just can't be happy with what you're doing? He said, because I tried to change the business model of my diet, and I lost almost lost everything. So he said, I gotta work twice as hard to get half of what we had the previous time. And it was like, he said they pretty much keep stuff to themselves until it's time for them to let it go. I mean, that's just how it goes. And it was like, they apologizing, for whatever happened, what was going on. And there was, I like the way he put it into the perspective of pretty much the same thing that she's been saying. Like, you should be okay with being complacent. But then Merch went into the argument of, if he feels this isn't burning the passion greater in him, why not allow him to push for more? Allow him to go into more. And of course, he had a little comic relief when he was like, yeah, but at the end of the day, the best pivot got to be Lance with that commercial, that cologne commercial. Nothing is better. So we get introduced to LJ. LJ, like I say, he's working for
nigga. Just put
I seen the hand.
Just put Carmex on their lips, and you
me talking ain't got nothing to do with her lips. Me talking has nothing to do with her lips.
Jazz don't be wanting to put Carmex on while you talking on the episode.
Oh, this is getting edited out.
Leave it in.
That's what she said.
Yeah, we behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. Behind the scenes of the WasItGoodTho podcast.
Are you good, Jazz? Is your lips feeling better? You need to put some baby powder on, Chris. I don't know what you got going on over there.
Baby powder? What? LJ.
I know he uses baby powder. Okay, let me make sure here we go right here. All right, so LJ, he's working for Jordan. He's been killing it currently. And we go back to, well, Lance comes and pick him up, take him to go do, focus on his football. He's going through it. He's killing. I mean, from what it looks like, he can run his routes. He's killing it. He said last game he, got 2 interceptions, but his dad. I mean, there's you would expect that from somebody that's a professional athlete. They're gonna try to push you to the maximum. So we kind of see LJ is like he either kind of sad. It's like either he doesn't really care about the sport, or it's just like, man, why is he so hard on me? We get introduced to what the real reason is later. Harper makes it to the house. He's he calling out for his wife, calling out for the kid. What they get, we all at. And you're like, oh, got the, sometimes you call people name out, they give you a call. You're like, hey, what's up? I was just call. Well, wait, who is this?
Right.
What's going on? And we find out Robin has been arrested. She got arrested for being in a protest and resisting arrest, which it was I guess an arrest that shouldn't have happened. And we run into a conflict that I know very well, very personal, when it comes to the co-parenting dynamic, whether in the home or outside of the home. And he tells her she better not have his child in the streets anymore, where she can be arrested because she should have left. And she told him, "Don't you tell me what to do with our child. That's our child."
She said my child, didn't she? She
I
said my daughter.
I
think she said my daughter.
I think
I'd be so triggered about it. My child, my kid, my. I cut that off. So it's a possibility that happened. What did y'all think about this scene?
Man, when she said my daughter, and I was just like, I completely understood Harper's point because, you think of the trauma based of getting arrested, you think of the safety, being Black and just that happening in general, like being in that environment. I completely understood it. And, it's just one of the things you have to communicate clearly and firmly, and you both have to be on the same page in regards to that. They weren't on the same. This is the second thing off top that they just were completely different sides and they weren't on the same page. And yeah, that whole dynamic was yikes.
I have a question. When Harper brought this up, did he say you don't need to have our daughter out there, or did he say you don't need to have my daughter out there?
I believe he said our, because because when she said my daughter, like, don't tell me what to do with my daughter. And I rewatched it earlier, so I remember it, but hopefully I'm not misremembering. But I just remember when I heard that, I was just like,
I don't remember that little detail there. It's a big one, but yeah,
right, because it definitely, if Harper said our daughter and then Robin said my daughter, yeah. But regardless of what the wording was in this entire situation, I had to side with Harper, because you never know how that kind of situation could transform or what it could escalate to, and you have a child with you. So it's just like you have to be extremely cautious. And you also cannot be upset with the reaction that your husband, the father of this child, is going to react. Because he's getting a phone call after coming home like, wait a minute, my wife and my daughter are downtown at the police station. Of course he's going to be upset. You know what I'm saying? It's just, y'all are the most important things in his life. Getting that call that y'all are downtown, being a Black woman and a Black girl, like, so yeah, Harper's reaction was definitely justified.
Yeah, but of course, I guess whenever he gets sad or depressed, he begins to write. So he writes something that resonates with her when she goes into it. And I feel like, I'm putting my feelings into it. I feel like she may have thought this was about her. Because whenever he writes, he does write very personal stuff when he begins to write. And I don't know if that's, and I don't know if that's just in him. Like, I don't know if it's intentional or if it's just in him whenever he's writing things to do it from a lens that's so graphic, so personal that people can feel it. She pretty much bought into allowing him to get the house. and they says he can be able to write or finish it there. Of course, this led to them going to go celebrate. So Harper and Quentin, they linked up with Jordan, which was set up by her, not published, but her assistant. She set up a little surprise dinner for her. In the midst of this, we get a breaking news update. A 48-year-old gentleman is going back to the NFL. Jazz, would you have picked this man up for your fantasy football team?
Absolutely not. I don't have time for that unless it's my free league where it's like it don't matter. But if it's money on the line, I'm sorry, I'm not picking up Lance. Not even in my free league. You got it.
Yeah, nah, he looked crazy. He was at the house watching the TV. He stood up like Michael Keaton in Batman Returns. So he stood up looking at the mirror.
Don't do that because Michael Keaton was a solid Batman in Batman Returns.
That didn't have nothing to do with it. I'm just saying the way he stood up. I didn't say who did what.
Because you're trying to compare somebody who was ready for that cape action to somebody who was not ready for that football action.
I mean, he was ready. He was sure he was proving himself. So he got hit, and he was like, "Wait a minute."
Until he got what? Wasn't Lance a running back? Them niggas get hit.
Hey, bro,
literally every play,
every time.
40, I mean, but look, at 48, that was just unbelievable for him to even think he could come. Cut Tom Brady like what 46? He a quarterback. That's difference.
Your quarterback though.
He could no. Yeah, all right.
Is he not your quarterback right now? Who's your team, Jason?
And then we have Demetrius.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Demetrius. Remember Demetrius? He was in Power. Demetrius in Power pulls up at the place, which I was just my entire demeanor just like
you just dropped.
I say, I didn't like him in Power, and like I really didn't like him in this as well. He's trying to reconnect with Jordan. We see, and I just like how Harper was playing it off like he was like, "This nigga can't speak. This nigga can't speak. This nigga can't speak." I'm just like, "Why you worried about him speaking, Harper? Like, why are you so worried about this man speaking to you, bro? Like, he was not important.
His manners."
You say his manners. It's a little bit something else. But that's the conclusion of episode 3. Did you guys have anything that you want to touch on in this one?
No.
Got you. Episode 4, Invisible Man. Man, Lance is getting killed on all the black sports outlets. They got my guy Bomani Jones. They got
his hairline.
Hey man,
easy on Bomani.
He went back bald. I like the little the quarantine fro from Bomani. It's better than Chico Bean.
Yeah, Chico is. Chico.
It's
Chico,
okay to be
I love you, bro.
Like having that shit like all the way back here, like
it wasn't. But his hairline, it was just.
How you not gonna kill Bomani's hairline, but you killed Donald Glover's hairline? Donald
Glover is a special case, Jazz. That's a special case.
You do it side by side with Bomani and Donald. Oh no, Donald out of there. Donald is out of there.
All right.
Who we had Mike. We had Michael.
Oh.
We have what?
I can't. I don't want to joke on hairlines. I don't want to joke on hairlines.
You got Mike.
I'm good, so keep it.
Chris is like, I will joke on anybody's hairline, but nah.
We had Jamel Hill pop up. We had Michael Smith, and the young lady that was on First Take,
Carrie Champion.
She showed
and Maria
up,
Taylor too. Yeah.
Okay, I love the cameos that they had in here.
I love this. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jason, but I love this because you had all black commentators.
Yeah.
I not seen no Skip Bayless up in this. But the Gators one star, he got so great.
But I love that they added this representation and gave them spotlight. I definitely appreciated that.
He said he's more lucrative to go sell drugs and go back on their football field right now.
that was messed up. That was wild. I'm like, wait a minute, why drugs?
But was he wrong? Sorry,
Chris. Stop.
Hey man.
All right, so Lance is about to go hit the field. He wants LJ to come with him. He pops in the room. You see LJ drop his bag real quick. So you're like, what this guy, what LJ into?
Which is the fact that I didn't like put that together. Yeah, because I watched it on the rewatch. I'm like, what was I looking at? But
yeah, and he was like, nah, I gotta, he told him I can't. He pretty much uses dad words against him. He was like, he told him not to flake on my responsibilities, and that's what I'm trying to own up to. Like, I bet. You know what? You're right. You got it. So we leave out, and as we see, LJ picks up this Prince looking boot, and he puts it inside the bag. And then they was we see, Quentin business model is failing.
yeah.
So he's speaking with this business, and they just like, we're here to make a competitive offer for the actual business, because he's trying to actually sell. He's trying to sell them, but they want him to sell it and actually keep him on. And he was like, after he got done, he was like, well, you say competitive. I mean, I did leave Ziamora, so what are you gonna do for me? Just pretty much tell him like, I'm game for whatever it is, if it's beneficial to me, if I can benefit within this. And then he's speaking with Merch. Talking with Merch about everything, because he's speaking with Merch about what's going on. And then he was like, Shelby's sex drive is like crazy right now. I'm popping these blue pills, which I feel like this is what comes back later in the season, which is what what messes him up, because he's trying to keep up with her, which, like I said, she has nothing but free time now, so she ain't got nothing but time to ride that Peloton. We're gonna go there route right now. And then Kennedy, she's just like, Kennedy is funny. Everything she says, she's like, yeah, nah, y'all sick. Y'all nasty. Y'all need help.
Yeah, I enjoy Kennedy's character.
I did too. And then we get a Merch versus a Karen.
Bruh.
What did y'all think about this Merch and Karen scene?
This scene pissed me off so bad. This stupid dog. I was just like, bro. But it was realistic, but it was sad in a way, because his kids was right there too. And it's just like, when I saw the police, my mind went a different. I'm glad I was wrong, but I was just like, dang. And it was tough because he had his kids there, and he just sort of felt, I don't want to say defenseless, but sort of like helpless, because what can you realistically do at that point? Stand up to it. So, but I enjoyed the storyline that they were going for with that. So
yeah. I was wondering if you guys liked the actual storyline that branched out from here for Merch.
I think it was extremely important, because when you see how all of that unfolded, and then once he got home, Candace asked how all the girls were doing.
mm-hmm.
She asked what happened, but she didn't ask Merch how he was doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that entire situation had such an impact on him, because him being a Black father with his Black daughters, in a situation to where a white woman came, took their taxi, and then the cops came, which were siding with her without even knowing what was going on. And so, like, I can't speak for Black men or Black fathers in that type of situation, but Jason, you are a father, so let me ask you, like, if you were in that situation, like, how would you feel as a Black father? Because it's kind of like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're defenseless, to where, if you escalated more, it could turn into something dangerous, and you have your children with you. So, like,
yeah, that situation, it's not even it goes bad often, and it's a very real thing. So for me, my thing is, I got to make it home. So I would have just bowed out of that situation, because I'm always going to be looked at as the aggressor in that. So I would have just gather my kids, and just get out of the situation as quick as possible. Like I said, I'm not fit to go back and forth with this little frail white woman.
Yeah. And then I think also, like, when I did my rewatch, I didn't notice this on the first watch, but just looking at Candace's mannerisms during that, she didn't ask Merch how he was doing. Which I felt like, I was like, sis, of course, check on the girls, make sure they're good, because you have a daughter that deals with anxiety. But also check on your husband, who was a Black man in a situation where he was somewhat defenseless.
And it could have went way left.
It could have. And even though he tried to diffuse it, still I'd have been like, bae, how are you? Because somebody...
So when she understood the severity of the situation, she then did do that. Because he was like, it's cool, I made it home alive. She was like, wait, don't like, stop making that fun. That's not funny. He was like, I'm not being funny. That's
right.
what happened.
Which like when I saw that scene on the rewatch, I'd have been like, "Are you okay?" Just asking, like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, because like just because he was saying that where we made it live, like he was saying that on a serious note.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just to check on him, make sure he's good. But because you can see as the episode went on, that situation was still affecting Merch, because he later checked in on his daughters, how they were doing from that situation. They had moved on from it, but it still came to revisit him. But then like during that scene, it then transitioned to what Candace was doing with school and him being a strong support system for her, which I feel like Merch's storyline, it started to build to where you just like, okay, where could this go? Because you see all the things he's doing. And then his conversation with Q was telling him like, you doing all of this stuff, you being everybody's hero. Mm-hmm. But what is Merch doing for Merch? And I know that we've had conversations of, we can get so caught up in things going on in our lives, but when do we make time for us? Mm-hmm. Time for things that we enjoy, time for ourselves. Because like you can get so wrapped up to where it's just like you living for everybody but you. Mm-hmm. You being there for everybody except for you, to where it could be so draining, to where you can be so tired and you forget like, damn, my life is pretty much dedicated to others and I'm not making time for me. So like when I did my rewatch, I was just looking at Candace and Merch, their storyline, and just seeing how that like navigated through. Yeah, I ain't mean to get too deep there.
That's probably as long as you ever spoke on this podcast.
Don't do that, Jason. Don't.
Yeah, one time. So I'm glad you were able to get that out. That obviously was on your mind. You was gonna be there for him. So I like that.
Jason is very supportive. I'm a very supportive woman, you know.
Yeah, okay. I hope he sees this. So
Jazz, you gotta stop giving this man layups.
No, like
that was
relax.
Too easy. That was too easy.
Hey, Chris, I threw it to her. She threw it back to me.
She was Steve Nash on there.
Hey, like... Chris, I was like, let me see if they go catch it.
I almost caught it. You know, I be trying to chill. That was too easy.
So perfect segue, because we're talking about people not taking care of themselves. So we have Jordan. Jordan's up 4 o'clock in the morning, getting ready for a day. And Demetrius, of course, Mr. Nice Guy, is outside with the coffee that she wore. I'm a hater. I don't care. I'm gonna be a hater this episode. He outside with the coffee that she liked, a certain type. He knows her schedule to the T. He takes her to the rooftop. He pretty much lets her know. I heard you in college. You know, they like 30 years removed from college, so I don't know how I would feel about this person at this point, but I'm single. This person's single. I'm attracted to this person, but, you know, they did hurt me at some point. Then how are you responding to this, Jazz?
I mean, you got men out here that's still damaged at the age of 35 from a girl that hurt their feelings in the sandbox at 13. Mm-hmm. So... in this scene, I don't really see Jordan with anybody else outside of Harper, because, sis, you left that sexy chocolate on the beach. And then you coming back home to this nigga who ghost got out of here, like...
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, if he hurts you again, you can't blame him, because he's done it before. It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Harper has too. I mean, if that's the route you want to go.
Harper hurt what, Jordan? No, they was just supposed to have a good night of action.
No, Jazz, no. He hurt that girl. You know that.
I mean, she had him too. Did she not?
Hurt him? She didn't hurt him. She didn't do nothing to him.
Yeah, somebody else hurt him. And he realized how it feels. So he was just kind of like,
his wife divorced him, and then that's what...
We're not there yet, Jason.
That's exactly what we is.
That's what happened. During this conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I was thinking about the wrong guy.
Got you. Yeah, no.
Jazz was like episode what, 6, 7?
Yeah, so no. Demetrius said that's why he's back, but he was like he's willing to do whatever it takes to prove.
But then also, okay, let me ask y'all this: if somebody from your past came out of nowhere and you single, and they hurt you in the past, and they're like, yeah, I know how it feels now, so I know what heartache I put you through because somebody put me through that. Are you gonna get him a second chance?
No. I ain't even gotta think about that too long. Nope.
Like
that sounds crazy when you put it. It sounds crazy.
We say it out loud a lot, and
Yeah.
if you say something out loud, a lot of times it'll definitely make a lot of sense. Like you would
Yeah.
never just sit there and be like, "I'm finna go do some crack." You said it out loud, you just sound crazy. It just sounds crazy. So anytime you think about doing something crazy, just say it out loud.
But I mean, it's true because I know sometimes people be like, "Okay, it's cool to double back," but like a love double back, that shit ain't cool.
Yeah, I love spinning the block. Yeah, I love the block sometimes. I love the block.
But hold on, Jason, if it's a block where it's love all the way, that's not a block you need to spin multiple times, my nigga. Like, like no. I'm just saying.
Man, so I want to go back into LJ because we can wrap up that storyline. So, not Candace, but Jordan's at the work, and she told him stop coming to work dressed like he's leaving school. And he leans into who he is. LJ comes into the business. He's slaying it. He put the boot on. He got the whole outfit, the gathering, and then they talking, and she was like, so yes, so let's talk about it. She was like, so what is this? What is this? And he was like, I'm non-binary. I go by them, they. I also go by them and they as well. So if y'all didn't know, yeah. Jason, and I'm that nigga. So if you ever want to ever get confused, just so you know, those are the two people I go by. Yeah, so non-binary, in case people don't know, LJ doesn't prescribe to a certain sex. So sometimes he can play into his feminine or he can play into his masculine. He doesn't really care. He's just fluid in that way, but he's still trying to figure it out. But of course, like I said, he hasn't introduced this information to Lance yet. Mm-hmm. And we know probably based on Lance, he's the alpha male. He's he's that machismo guy. And they say, Mia, she probably would have accepted you, no questions asked, but your dad, that'd definitely be a different situation. So that conversation needs to be had at some point. Excuse me. And then we got Lance. Lance is at football practice. He's out there killing it. He's killing them on the field. They going all over. He's showing a rookie how he's doing it. And they had a little conversation about how the Karen situation went. Because Harper is missing because he's in writer's mode, but they asked him how he said, man, I probably wouldn't do nothing to that Karen, but I would have kicked that dog. I would have did something. And then I asked Lance what he would have done to me. He pretty much told him about, a neighbor that moved into his neighborhood and how she was, prejudiced in a sense, and how he had to de-escalate the situation, but because he deals with the police and he pays them, they knew who he was, they let him off, and he still gave the lady an autograph. He was like, you just gotta, just play your role. Enough for that. And that's unfortunate that Black people must play a role when it comes to societal issues, especially when it comes to race. We still have to play a certain position when we should just, if it's fair and consistent for everybody, that shouldn't even be a question or a situation at all. And we got Quentin and his dad, right? His dad is they say he's been kind of losing it. He's popping up with bruises. He's hurting. So they, Shelby is like, no, we going over to the house. We going to the house, and they get to teach the daughter responsibility because she's been getting over on Quentin, getting purses, bags, clothes, going crazy.
To be fair, she would have got me with that Chanel bag too. Like, it holds value. I'll bet. Like, how much you need?
Going crazy. So they go to the house. So they go to the house. Dad is living in filth. He's not cleaning up. He's not picking up. He's falling. I don't know if they really ever address what he has, unless it's just he's dealing with depression or something. I don't because they don't really say. But he's speaking with the lady, and she, he says he's messing up payroll. He's overpaid me.
Yeah.
She said, although you did overpay me, you can leave that. You can treat it as a bonus. We good there. But everything else, they got a lot of different issues.
I was thinking maybe on early onset dementia or something.
Yeah.
Or Alzheimer's.
That's what I was thinking too. I wouldn't have let them know that I got overpaid though.
I wouldn't either.
I'm like, hey man, you messing up some payroll, but don't look at my payroll. Like you just,
Yeah, but he's.
I'd have been like, he fell a few times, and I don't know what he messed up, but he fell a few times.
He fell into the checkbook, wrote an extra check. So,
Hey,
I wouldn't even brought up the checkbook. I don't like that.
Nah, not at all. And they go to the house, and like I said, they speak him. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I hated this scene. Rhodey didn't sell it for me. Yeah, like what mom think about what you doing over here? I didn't like this scene. I didn't. It was terrible.
That's hate. That's hate.
Yeah,
he was hurt.
And that's wild.
He was hurt. That's his dad, bro.
He always sounded like he about to cry. So I mean, I guess that's why. Just curve the character down. That's what you sound like.
I thought this scene was really good because I appreciate how his character does not mind getting emotional. He doesn't hold back his feelings. He's like, Dad, we're concerned about you. Like, this, you living in filth. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure somebody was looking at this scene. They're just like, oh, it's not that bad. No, he was living in filth, like shit everywhere. Like it was, I'm like, it probably stinks. So he was trying to like, Dad, we're concerned about you. Mm-hmm. Because he's older, and I appreciate Shelby being the one to push him to be like, no, we're gonna go check on him. Mm-hmm. And then I thought this scene with him and his granddaughter, I thought that scene was so wholesome. When she played him,
she played him too.
No, look,
she can't play Quincy. She can't play Quentin no more, but she can play Granddad now.
Not when she played Granddad, but when they were looking at the different pictures of like,
okay.
They were having a good wholesome moment. Not before they got into the car when he was telling her about damn it, I can't think of the actor's name. Sidney Poitier, and how like they were friends and how he is a legend because Sidney Poitier is in fact a legend. And just them having that moment. It was no conflict, it was no issue, it was just family coming together. So I thought that scene was really good. For sure.
All right, so here we go, and then we gotta check back in with Candace and Merch. Candace she's in Dr. Temple's class, and she's trying to get Dr. Temple to go over her paperwork and whatnot, go over her thesis, because she's trying to really push this plant-based life, and as an alternative for not drugs, but using as an alternative of using like medication, just natural using. And they're having this party, and of course at the house, Candace has removed all the Harper books because they're not looked at as high scale, and whatnot, which is his whole, and that's pretty much his whole point. Like, I don't want to keep being looked at that. I want to push the envelope. Mm-hmm. And then Julian and the doctor talk, which like this was like, I really loved this conversation. So from what it went to where it went, I was just like, bro, that's some bull crap. You know what I'm saying? Like and he was just saying like he really loved that Julian had a 95% graduation rate out of his school. He would say like, unfortunately, like in our neighborhoods, when you giving them the best education, it's one step forward and two steps back. But white people love that dance that they make us do. And it was like they love that two-step, and I was just like, dang, that was a nice play on how he did that. But that's exactly what it is. And he said we got to learn how to channel our anger, channel our frustration, and put it in a different way. And like it was, they just, gave Merch, put another battery into Merch's back, which, after the party, I guess next day, whatever it happened, but he's out and he sees Karen. He sees Karen sitting over to the side, eating dinner, just in her bubble, just living life. And this scene, the montage that happened from here, man, I cried every different scene. What y'all think about this?
I wish he choked her out, but no. I thought it was well done. I think I like I said, I like the TV show fleshed out different characters and just, different montages like this, different scenes where you get their motivation and stuff. It was cool, but I have a thing with that, with Karen's. So
I get
that whole storyline. I know it's part of the storyline, but
I get it. Did it feel forced?
No, not at all. Because it led into like it's a part of the protect. Well, we see what happens eventually, but it's that protection aspect and the hobby aspect, so it ties together. So I'm not mad at it.
Gotcha.
I wasn't expecting 3 daydreams. I thought
4
3
or 5.
was
Yeah, it was.
It was like 4 or 5.
Inception.
no, it was 3. It was 3.
It was 3. Gotcha.
I wrote them all 3 down because it was definitely because you had where he wrote up on her and it was a fight because she said because he took out her rosé and she was just like, not my rosé. So she got into a fight with him, and then he wrote up on her again in the second vision and she started having her white tears. And then the other one was the cops rode up and everybody's chasing him down the block. But I thought this storyline for Merch I was curious where it was going to go because like before this scene of him seeing Karen out, he checked in with his daughter. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned this earlier. He was like, so I just want to check in and see how you doing from that event the other day. And she was moved past it. She was just like, oh, I'm good. But obviously it was still bothering him, which is why I think it would have been important for Candace to check in on him when it happened of like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Because he's checking in with everybody else and everybody else had moved past it, but obviously he didn't. So it's kind of one of things to where it's just like, you got to put your feelings kind of in the back burner to make sure everybody else is good. And sometimes you forget those unresolved feelings and that energy behind you because and it's still affecting you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think like Merch's his character development during this whole thing, it didn't get too much of a light, but I feel like it was important.
Mm-hmm. I think it did because it actually stemmed from him not liking his character in the Unfinished Business book. I didn't touch on that, but that's where it actually stemmed from, and that plays a larger storyline on the backside of how they portrayed him, how they do him, and Harper tried to change it, tried to adjust it, and they talked about it when he was speaking with the police. Say everything's good. They love the early screening, but the one character that basically plays Merch, we need to change. And that going into what you were just saying with how kids are, the most traumatic thing can happen, and you can feel a way about it, and kids will be like, "Oh yeah, I'm good." Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing. But it's just and that's something that it plays on them later. And sometimes it plays. It just depends. Well, it may just depend on the kid. A lot of times it plays on, but in a lot of cases, it's just like, oh yeah, no, it was drama then, but I'm off the drama now. They just overstimulated or something. I don't know. And then we have, Jordan talking to LJ. She said there's birthday gifts, there's push gifts, and there's coming out gifts. And she gives him a watch, kind of like what she received when she got her first promotion, but told him he got to tell his dad, like, you can't keep holding this in, even if it's just for who you are. And, he sees his dad. I thought that was going to be the reveal, but it wasn't. He pretty much just told him he's done with football. Yeah, he doesn't want to play anymore, and kind of feel like I'm kind of speeding through it because I kind of went through it. But Lance, he did quit football.
Forced retirement.
he got forced. He got hit by one of the guys. He was killing it at first, but he got hit and it was like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. But he did find a relief. He began coaching, which is why he wanted LJ to come over to the practice with him. Mm-hmm. So that's a way to tie that back together. He wanted to bring him to the actual field, but LJ said he's done with it. That his heart ain't in it no more. That's the conclusion of 4. But one thing we did kind of skip over is Robin.
Yep, I was hoping you said that.
She her unfulfillment is being filled mentally currently with Mr. Jaha. What you think about the Jaha character, Jazz? Your smile is kind of like,
she's saying that close up on his beard.
Yeah, when he was eating that food, I was like, hold on, they doing a little bit too much now. She got the whole Beyonce fan just blowing her hair. She just in the middle of the street just blowing.
Ain't nobody else here blowing but hers.
Chris, nobody else was in the shot. So
that's why.
Hey, the cameraman zoomed in on Robin, but when she was talking to Candace about him, Candace told her, like, I hear you, but make sure you reel in a little bit, sis. And it was some lusting there, I'm not gonna lie. Because when they zoomed in on Robin as he was eating that food, I was like, Robin just staring at him like crazy, of him watching. She's watching him eat her food. And she just like, yeah, I put that spinach in there, I put the extra spice in there. He just sitting there enjoying it. I was like, Robin, girl, please don't cheat. Please don't cheat.
She was already cheating.
Is that cheating though, Chris? Wait.
Mentally. Yeah, mentally it is.
That's an emotion. Right. She's developing an emotional connection.
But nothing physical happened yet though. So
I mean, Jazz, stop it.
All right.
Look at this. Look at you trying to.
No, I remember. I was like,
I'm not trying to defend it. I'm not trying to defend it at all.
Okay, because I'm just saying, like, yeah. So that was the.
I mean,
you got somebody. What is?
I'm not gonna bring.
You want to defend it?
No, I'm not bringing Harper.
We're not bringing.
I'm not defending it. I'm not defending.
Nope. Don't even bring Harper up in this. Don't bring Harper up in this unless you're gonna say he's not doing what he needs to do for his wife. You can bring that up because he's not. At this point, he is not. But that is the conclusion of episode 4. But the question that we come here to figure out: was it good though?
First 4 episodes, yes.
Yep. So far, so good.
I loved them. I enjoyed it. Bringing it back. Any ledges for you guys right
now? Yes. Jordan should have hooked up with Sexy Chocolate on the fucking beach.
Yes, we already heard you say that, man. We don't have to hear you.
Well, I want someone to say it. I want to say it all the way, so it's no type of confusion. Jordan should have just look. Sis.
Sexy Chocolate. Okay, so Sexy Chocolate or Demetrius? Which one?
What the fuck? Sexy Chocolate. I wouldn't have even let Demetrius. I would have still had his number blocked. What?
I probably didn't have cell phones when she was in college. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He shouldn't have her number then. You should leave all his messages on LinkedIn on red, sis.
So who is you guys' Link of Thrones?
That's funny. I'll go first this week. So my Link of Thrones is going to be Harold. I hope I don't mispronounce his name. Piranu. He's merch. And he was in, what was it? 28 Weeks Later. He was Flynn. That's a zombie movie. Very scary zombies. Not Walking Dead zombies. Just
that's a jazz house today. They be booking.
Booking. You don't want those problems. He was also in The Matrix 2 and 3. Shout out to him.
Yep. He was what's called brother, right?
Link. Yeah. Wait, who brother? Talking about
the black guy in the first one. I thought it was a black guy in the first one who got killed.
Oh yeah, the guy. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Morpheus at first. I was like, wait.
No.
Sorry, what I miss? Yeah.
Jazz, you got yours?
I took Jazz's. Hey.
No, you did. No.
Hey, same movie?
No, you didn't. But
I feel like I did, low-key.
No. All right, so mine is going to be The Unicorn, Nicole Avery Parker, and she was in Almost Christmas.
Love that movie. And I'm gonna go with Jaha. Jaha, his name is Tobias Truvillian, I believe is how you say it. He was in Hitch.
Oh wow. Hitch is a classic. That's a classic, right? Okay, I'll just make sure.
I'm with it. Even if it ain't. That was the conclusion of our episode 34. But Chaz, I feel like you have a segment or question for us this week. So I'm gonna pass that to you, my sister.
I appreciate it. So this is my first week introducing what our agree to disagree is going to be. I said it's going to be a bit confrontational. I wanted to save this for this episode since we will be discussing the characters from this, I guess, franchise, all of that other stuff. But I wanted to ask y'all, because we know in The Best Man, you have Mia slept with Harper, who's Lance's best friend. Mm-hmm. Harper introduced Mia to Lance. On a scale from what percentage of villain do you give each character?
Um,
Between Harper, between Mia, and between Lance.
Mia definitely 75%.
Wait.
I'm gonna give Harper. I'm gonna give Harper about whatever 25 broken down into two between Harper and Lance. They can have the rest of it.
So 12 and a half.
12 and a half, yeah. But Mia definitely.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is the crazy thing, right? So she gets cancer, and then she like, I want all my friends back in one place together. Like, even though I know I slept with him, you haven't forgiven me or forgiven the situation, and it's still on your mind. You need to get over that. I got cancer. It trump what you got going on over here.
Jason, cancer is a big joker. So yeah.
Whoa. How do we compare cancer to spades? It's crazy.
No, for anybody who plays spades, like, yes.
So it's remission. Never mind. That's third.
Mia definitely 75%. Maybe even I may even push up to 80 and get 10 and 10. For them two gentlemen right there, Jay. What about you, Chris?
So Lance was cheating. He was cheating.
He was cheating.
So I feel like 12. I feel like 12 and a half is a little low.
What? Okay. I was about to say you're not about to give Lance 12.
No, but Mia literally trumped. Mia chose him.
I got this.
Jason, let Chris do his.
I got this. So 12 and a half is a little low, but it's still like we're not going crazy like 75% Lance. So I would say Mia's about 65. Because that's just crazy. And
Mia's the villain.
Yeah, Mia's the villain. Like, let's be real. Because she knew both, like,
so,
and she initiated.
Are we gonna? Is this gonna be the agree to disagree for next week as well? Because I feel like it can change. Yeah. I feel like this change.
We on that first 4 episodes.
Wait. First 4 episodes, Chris. So you giving me a 65%?
Yeah, I'm
so what you giving Lance and what you giving Harper?
Harper is tough, but I would give Lance more because he cheated. So 65, what's that? 85 left. I'll probably say about 20, 25 Harper and get the rest of Lance. I'm sorry, 25 Lance and get the rest of Harper.
Okay. I am going to give.
Oh boy.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just bracing myself.
Nah, I'm switching my stuff up live while I'm saying this. So I am going to give Mia 45% fault. Yes. And I'm going to give Lance 30% fault. And then I am going to give Harper 25%. I am giving Harper the lowest amount because realistically, Harper was a victim in this entire situation. He was a pawn in this game, this relationship was having, because like we've already established and we saw in the first movie, even Quentin called it out. He said all that sticking and moving you were doing was Mia not justified to go out and do her own thing.
See, that's the thing, though.
He asked that. No, he asked that.
No, you're right. No, you're right. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you.
So it's one of the things where like Quentin even knew. Quentin knew.
Everybody knew, but Jay.
Okay, no, hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
So let me finish. So Quentin knew. Everybody knew. It's one of the things where it's just like, Lance, you was out here fucking and doing all this stuff on Mia, breaking Mia heart. Mia was a good girl. Harper even said that. He was like, I don't want to hook you up with Mia. She a good girl. She come to work on time. He said that. So that was like a little sister to Harper, because Lance even said that at the wedding. He was like, it's like your little sister. So you out here cheating on his little sister? Now, they did some Targaryen type shit.
I'm about to say, that's what kind of incest is going on? Look, Jason, we don't do that. We don't do that.
They did some Targaryen type shit, but I'm just sitting here like, I feel like when Mia chose Harper, Harper was like trying to get back at Lance for bringing all that pain to Mia. He said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead.
That's a justification.
No, I don't think anybody is right, but I'm just saying, from both of their point of views, it seemed like Harper was like, Lance might deserve to get hurt a little bit because he's been hurting her. And nobody is going to hurt Lance. If Mia slept with a random nigga from the club at the Players Club, if she slept with any of them niggas, that wouldn't hurt Lance.
Bruh, no, I don't, you know what? I'm confused now. I'm confused. Hold on, time out.
Because, you know, Ebony was out here trying.
So you know what? No, let me get some real numbers here, because I'm thinking, because this nigga, the pussy was so good, the boy wrote a book about it. So
Lance should get more. I mean, Harper should get more points for writing a book.
That's what I'm saying. My number. You know what? No, Mia getting 50, Harper getting 30, and Lance getting 20. Because he was so good to the boy, he wrote a book about it, and then he told you how he treat women that he's intimate with. And there's a tale. We all have a tale with how we are with somebody that we dealt with. But this nigga, for everybody he deal with, he kissed him on their forehead, bro. Dog, come on, bro. I would have threw him off the building. It wouldn't have been the best man too.
Would have been no holidays.
Chris locked up, best man edition.
He wrote a book about how good my girl was.
Listen, man.
So
you said 12 and a half. I was like, yeah, I think he
brought that man. Look, bro, he wrote a book about Jordan, and he flipped the sex scene because he never had sex with her.
Jordan need to get some points too, but that's okay.
But
not yet.
No.
Well,
no, Jordan ain't got nothing to do with that Lance and Mia situation, because Jordan didn't even know that Harper hooked up with Mia.
I'm talking about Rob.
But Jordan
that's a different point.
Jordan said, I don't care. I don't care what you doing, bro. Bring it to me.
No.
I wouldn't. Hey, look, I wouldn't have said nothing. I would have been like, man, I almost died. Can you relieve me of my stress? That would have been.
Yeah, when he got slapped, to this day, I feel like that wasn't scripted.
What the fuck is that smell? What's the smell?
Jordan was pissed. She said the ambiance.
She was taking shots of tequila all night. I was sitting here like.
Did she say she was ovulating?
Chris, can we get back on the villain? And
it's Mia. Mia's the villain. Mia's the villain.
Okay, so.
But nothing. She's the villain. I don't care. We riding with that. She's the villain.
I mean, but the fellas are not too far from her percentage, because Harper's
the closest. Harper's gonna be closer than Lance.
So you don't think Lance pushed her to that? Because Mia was a good girl.
She could have left. She could have left. If we ride with right and wrong, she could have just left.
Jason,
that is true.
I knew y'all was gonna pull that. Oh, she could have left. Shit, he could have left.
He didn't want to leave. You know what's going on.
Mia didn't want to leave either. Mia was like, I love him, but I'm gonna fuck his best friend.
That don't sound like love to me. I'm just saying. No, that's too toxic. Like I'm saying,
double D twins. Like, what?
You
gonna come to daggone Harper's room with your Bible, nigga? With your Bible? Yo, stop. No. Y'all need to hold Lance accountable for that shit. Y'all.
Lance is a star football player.
Chris,
like
stop.
Realistically, what can we expect?
Harper to save his life.
But Jason, after that prayer, that's probably when Harper went and slept with Mia.
Man.
That's extremely savage. But
all I'm saying is every single one of them need to be held accountable, and do not overlook the faults. Because I'm just like, Mia wouldn't have picked Harper if Lance didn't push her to do that.
Look at the get back and the justification of
right. Like it could have been somebody else. It could have been a teammate.
But Harper could have said no.
A teammate could have been better. A teammate would have been better than his best.
Harper could have said no though. At the end of the day, that's what I'm going with. Harper could have just said nah.
He could have, but you know what? He didn't.
Hey.
He definitely did. But yeah, I'm interested to see what y'all go. Who do y'all feel is more at fault? I feel like it's gonna turn into a woman, man. But you know what? Me is the problem. It's the problem. God took care of it. So Oh, oh, oh.
I don't even know what to say. Can we end the episode? Can we? I don't know what to say. Listen. I just, uh,
Let's close this out this week, sir.
so guys, just forget you heard that part. That was a comedy. What they used to say, comedy style. Episode 30. What episode is it? 34, right? Hopefully y'all see us next week. I don't know. We'll see. We're to be determined. But oh man. Episode 34. Does that conclude Agree to Disagree? I hope so. I hope so.
That'll conclude it.
Okay,
it'll
good.
Be, and when y'all looking at this, it'll be my birthday by then. So drop some happy birthdays on the pod page and wherever else you see that.
I'm not gonna be a hater. I'm gonna say happy birthday, Jason. I'm not gonna be a hater.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Well wishes.
Jasmine, look at the peace sign.
Look, she ain't even she threw the crooked peace sign too. So you know.
Oh man,
you knew it wasn't real.
Yeah, she didn't look at the camera.
That last joke took me out.
I hope it don't take us out, man.
Hey, it's our last one.
Hey, yeah, it's been fun. But no, episode 34. All the support, I'm gonna say it every week because it's continuing to come in. Y'all seen the numbers for Woman King, right?
Yeah, wow.
It's going crazy.
That's crazy. I wish people had that same energy for Nope, but it's whatever.
No, it's because Malik wasn't in Nope. Malik was in Woman King, and everybody was just like, "Yeah, Jazz, I understand. I wouldn't have killed him either."
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll let her live in that, that world. But yeah, the support, we appreciate it. Everybody like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. Was it good though? The answer was so far yes.
Love it.
Love it so far. So y'all can count on us to bring you the last 4 episodes next week. I'm Chris, Jazz, Jason.
Cheers.
Was it good though? Episode 34. Finish. We out.